Hi guys, it's me, Carolyn Scott-Hamilton, the Healthy Voyager, and welcome to the Healthy Voyager's Global Kitchen. Today, it is Thanksgiving in my kitchen, so we are making a side dish. My personal favorite side dish, and probably one of the most favorite side dishes, it's stuffing. But obviously, we're making it vegan style. We're making a pumpkin cornbread vegan apple sausage stuffing, and we're gonna top it with some mushroom gravy later on. All right, so this is what you're gonna need. 4 cups of vegan cornbread. I just get cornbread from Trader Joe's and I got the pumpkin one this year. So 1 package of the cornbread is gonna make your full 4 cups. A package of vegan sausage. I use Field Roast because they have the best apple sausage. It's delicious. This is a maple apple sausage, which is perfect for this stuffing. A cup of chopped white onion, a cup of chopped celery, about a teaspoon or a little more if you like more herby flavor of fresh rosemary, fresh thyme, and fresh sage, salt and pepper to taste, 1 cup of vegetable broth, a tablespoon of olive oil, and then a little bit of sesame oil for brushing on top of the stuffing before it goes into the oven. All right, let's get started. First, we're gonna cook the onion and the celery and get it nice and crunchy and a little bit translucent before we pop everything else in there. So I've already got my pan ready at medium heat. We're gonna toss in the tablespoon of olive oil. You never wanna put it in a cold pan. This way you know that it's ready to cook once you start to see the little ridges in the oil. So we're gonna make sure it's coated the whole pan, so we're ready to go. We're gonna toss in the onions, already sizzling. Then we're gonna put in the celery. And this is where it starts smelling real good. We're gonna cook this up for about a couple minutes. You'll start to notice when the onion and the celery kind of starts to get a little translucent. Then we're gonna toss in everything else. All right, so our veggies are crisping up and cooking down. So now it's time to throw in our sausage. Let's mix that in there. And then once this is all cooked down, we're gonna go ahead and put in our cornbread and the veggie broth. And then once that's all mixed together, we're gonna toss in the herbs. And then we're good to go to pop it into the square pan and bake. Super, super easy. Already smells like Thanksgiving in here. Yum, wait to eat. All right, so now that this is all fully incorporated and our veggies are nice and done, we're gonna turn off the heat. And we're gonna just take this over here because it's easier to deal with. And we're gonna do little batches so that it doesn't get too globby. What happens is when you put in the cornbread, it starts to kind of chunk up and then it becomes one big mass. So we're gonna put it in little by little and then add in the veggie broth. So let's go ahead and dump that in there, about half, so it's workable. Then about half of the veggie broth. We'll mix that in. That way you make sure that it all gets mixed in well, so there's no dry pieces of cornbread and some pieces that are missing yummy veggies and sausage. All right. That looks good. Time to put in a little more. And a little more broth. And sometimes what I like to use is a vegan chicken bouillon to make the broth so that it gives it a little more of like that meaty flavor around the holidays. But we're just using a vegetable broth because that's easy to come by. So you'll start to see it get that texture of stuffing. And then we'll do this last batch of cornbread, last batch of broth, and we're gonna mix in our yummy herbs, and that's when the heat is gonna release the oils from these herbs. It's gonna smell good up in here. All right, put this guy over here. Last bit of broth. And the last bit of mixing. And we've already preheated our oven to 350. So depending on the desired crispiness of the top of your stuffing, You can bake it for about 30 minutes or up to 60 minutes. You don't want it to dry out, but if you like your stuffing crispy, leave it in a little bit longer. So somewhere between 30 and 60 is ideal. All right, so this is mixed nicely. Every little bit of cornbread is got some celery and some onions in it. Now it's time for the yummy stuff. All right, so we're gonna pop in the sage. You can use dried herbs if you like. I have fresh herbs in my garden, so I like to use those as much as possible. And it just smells and tastes so much better when it's fresh. And so that was the rosemary, the thyme, and the sage. So we're gonna go ahead and mix these guys in here. We used a regular vegetable broth. If you're using a low sodium vegetable broth, you might wanna add a little bit more salt for flavor. We're gonna just put in a little extra pinch because vegetable broth tends to have enough salt, but just in case for a little bit more flavor, we're gonna season it up with just a little pinch of salt and a little pinch of pepper. And that's the finishing touch right here before we pop it into the pan. All right, that's good. So now we've got a regular 8x8 pan, and we're gonna put everything in here, and we're gonna kind of pack it down so that it gets nice and cooked through. You can double the recipe as well, and it'll still fit in this pan. You'll just have a little ridge on top. And I always double this recipe just because I like to have tons and tons of leftovers after Thanksgiving. All right, so we've got all that goodness out of the pot. Put that guy over there, and now we're just gonna make sure that we mash it in. Cover all the areas, make sure it's even. So there's no rhyme or reason. It doesn't have to be completely flat like a brownie or a cake or anything, but you want it to just kind of fill your pan. All right, so I've got my sesame oil here, and I've got my little silicone brush. So I just kind of brush it right on top generously. Make sure I don't miss any corners, any spots. And then once this is done, it is time to pop this baby in the oven. Let the house smell really good. And then after that, it's time to devour. All right, all set. Time to pop this baby in the oven for about 45 minutes. Somewhere in between 30 to 60 is perfect. I don't like it too crispy or too soggy, so right in the middle is just right. It's preheated to 350, so I'll see you in about 45 minutes. This smells delish. All right, so all you gotta do is serve it up. Maybe put a little gravy on it. We're gonna put my favorite, a vegan mushroom gravy on top. So yummy. And I always like to really just lay it on. I love me some stuffing. So good with gravy. All right, there we go. I'm gonna put some gravy on that, and it is time to eat. A little early Thanksgiving treat. All right, just a little bit more gravy. You don't want to over gravy it, and then you lose the flavor of the delicious pumpkin, cornbread, apple, sausage, vegan stuffing. Can't beat it. You can have Thanksgiving like everybody else. All right, well, I love this recipe, but I'd love to know if you like it. Please like it. If you have any questions, comments, or requests, please make sure to leave them in the comments section below. Make sure to subscribe to our channel, and also go to healthyvoyager.com for more recipes, Thanksgiving tips, and all other fun stuff year-round. And go to Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter, everywhere on social media. I'm at Healthy Voyager. I'm wishing you and your family and friends a healthy and happy Thanksgiving, and I'm gonna go enjoy my side dish now. See you next time.